So I'm a big fan of Vanity Fair's Everything in a Day series. It's a video series that spotlights the daily schedules of famous people. Terry Crews has done one. Nick Offerman has done one. J-Lo has done one. John Cena's done one, but it's the most challenging to watch because you can't see him. But the reason I watch these and find them so fun is that it really humanizes the people behind their schedules. It reminds me that, they have sleeping patterns and eating patterns and just things that they do that I do and that you do. It inspired me to make one of these videos for myself, to make an everything Mike Vardy does in a day video. And it's not so much to share my schedule with you to kind of shine a spotlight on me, but more or less to maybe give you some insights or some ideas. Maybe you'll be inspired to make some alterations to the way that you craft your time, like this series has done for me. I'm Mike Vardy, and this is everything I do in a day. I'm not going to drop this, though. They dropped the clock. This is an expensive phone. Oh, and this is the 2022 edition. So I aim to get up at about 7:15 every morning during the weekdays. We're not counting the weekends in this, although I will refer to them every once in a while. I use an app called Sleep Cycle to help me sleep properly so that I don't wake up in the middle of a cycle of sleep. 7:15 is the ideal time for me to get up based on the schedule that my family and I kind of operate under, especially during the school year. Now from 7:15 to 8 a.m., I'm focusing on my morning momentum. You see, I'm a night owl, so I need to have things set up so I can ease into the day a bit more. Things I will do during that 45-minute stretch is actually stretch. I will also drink some water out of these Green Lantern cups. I've got 2 of them. Here's one of them. I will drink an entire one of these to start off my day. I'll also go down into the basement, which is where my study is, but also where my coffee bar is set up. And I will grind coffee, and I will grind it depending on which way I want to prepare my coffee for the day. If I'm using the Hario V60, I'll grind it at 14. If I'm using the Chemex, I'll grind it at 18. And while my water is boiling and things of that nature, that's when I'll do, I'll come into the study here and I'll flip the date and I'll do like stuff to kind of get the flywheel spinning. I'll even open the side door downstairs and just get some fresh air into my lungs. Then 8 o'clock hits, and that's when I focus my time on my Time Crafting Trust community. So on Mondays and Thursdays, as of right now, we have Focus Fix sessions, and these are sessions where members of my membership community join me as well as others to just do focused work. Either 25-minute cycles, we do 2 of those, or a 50-minute cycle. And we do that from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The other days of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll work on other things for the membership community. Maybe it's working on communicating with them through the Circle app that we use for communication. Maybe it's mapping out future special events, working on some programs for them, things of that nature. That's what that 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. block is for every single day. Now, I've talked about theming my days before, and this comes into play as well. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not necessarily saying, oh, it's Monday, what do I do today? It's Monday, what is the theme of today? Oh, today's theme is maintenance. And then between 9 and about 10:30 to 10:45, I will focus my overarching work on the daily theme of that day. So if it's Monday, it'll be maintenance work. If it's Wednesday, it'll be media work. So I'll work on YouTube videos, I'll do podcast interviews, that kind of thing. Tuesday and Thursday are my training days. So that's when I'll focus either on training myself with some stuff or training others. It's also when I do my coaching calls. And on Friday, I don't really have a theme. So in that period of time between 9 and 10:30 and 10:45 on Friday, I focus on triage tasks. So tasks that I've flagged that I know I absolutely need to get done before the week comes to a close. I tend to be generous with my mornings to others. So I will, again, work with my membership. I'll work with podcast guests. I'll work with coaching clients because I'm not a morning person, So I will feed off the energy of others and rise to the occasion with them because I'm not really ready to be creative yet and work on some of the other more deep work kind of tasks I need to do. I save that for later on in the day. From 10:45 until about 11:45, depending on the day of the week, I will perform some kind of fitness activity. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll go to my local rec center and work out with my trainer. And on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, I'll do some kind of aerobic activity. So if it's nice out, I'll go for a run. And I'm doing the Couch to 10K program to try to build my energy back up to the point where I can run longer distances. If it's raining out, which it tends to do here in the Pacific Northwest from like November to April, I might use the spin bike that we have upstairs. On top of trying to eat better, I know I want to keep myself active, and that window between 10:45 and 11:45 is a good window for me to make that happen. Then from 11:45 until 12:30, I'm back to the daily theme stuff again. So maybe I'll be doing a podcast interview on Wednesday, maybe on Friday and doing some triage tasks, but that workout really just kind of disrupts or interrupts the daily theme that's happening in the morning. At 12:30, that's when I definitely eat. That's when I will have a NutriBullet shake with some greens in it, so either some spinach or kale or arugula or a spring mix. I will also have some kind of fruit, frozen fruit inside of it, so either mango, which is my favorite, frozen mango, or some frozen berries, maybe a mix of like frozen cherries and cranberries, and then some Greek yogurt, some avocado to thicken it up a bit and also get some good fats in there. And then I have some collagen I put in there. I'll also have my multivitamins at that time. And that 12:30 to 1 o'clock time slot is when I'm eating. I may also watch some kind of YouTube video or listen to something like a podcast or something like that while eating. Or sometimes I'll just sit and just eat and that'll be it. From 1 until 2 o'clock, again, depending on the day, I'm giving myself to the community. On Mondays and Thursdays, we have another Focus Fix session with Time Crafting Trust. I have a mastermind every Wednesday with a group of friends, so I meet with them on Wednesdays. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, again, I generally focus my efforts on building something during that time. And if it's related to the daily theme, all the better. Now the rest of the day, now I'm starting to hit my stride. As somebody who is a night owl, or a wolf, in the words of Dr. Michael Bruce, who I've spoken to on my podcast before about circadian rhythms and body clocks and things like that. I've designed the rest of my days to kind of have more of a horizontal theme to them from about 2 o'clock until basically 6:30. And here's what that looks like. From 2 o'clock until 2:30, I'm actually reading. And I'm reading either books on my Kindle or some physical books. Like right now, I'm starting to read Timekeepers, which is a book I got as a gift from my daughter by Simon Garfield. So it's like a good story-based bit of nonfiction, but it helps kind of get me thinking about the things I might want to write about later on in the day. Then at 2:30, I'm taking a nap. This sofa right behind me here converts into a bed that kind of is on the floor, and I will nap for about a half an hour. Now, when I'm reading, I'm also having some coffee, so I'm drinking my coffee while I'm reading, and by the time 2:30 hits, the coffee's gone, I'm laying down, and I get a caffeine nap in. I need to give myself that mental break, that rest. So I will nap between 2:30 and 3 p.m. That's a fairly new development, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Once I awake from my nap, and I use another app called Power Nap to help me with this, I then put the sofa back together and I start writing on, right now I'm working on a major project that involves a lot of writing, but that 3 to 5:30 window is special project work, and it's Monday through Friday. So whatever that special project is, maybe it's a course I'm working on, maybe it's a video series, something like that, I will be focusing on that for that 2.5 hour time period, Monday through Friday. That window is a really important window for me to have, because then when I go into the next window, I'm able to be fully present in that window, that horizontal theme as well. And that horizontal theme is dinner prep. So from 5:30 to 6:30, it's not just dinner prep, it's dinner in general. So I'm either cooking dinner, eating dinner. It's the transition period from like Mike at work to Mike at home. And because I work from home, it's important for me to have those boundaries there, that framework there. And then from 6:30 to about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, that's my family time. It's my social time. And that's when we can do things like, you know, watch a movie, play video games, like whatever I'm doing with my family can happen at that time. And again, this is during the weekdays. The weekends, it's a lot more time being dedicated to that at that time. I put this here for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to make sure that the calendar is completely open so that I know that I'm fully present for them. But also, if they are doing other things, like if my son is playing with his friends and my daughter's out with her friends and Anne's reading a book, I still have those daily themes that I can use to guide me towards personal stuff or life stuff that would still be associated with that theme. So if it's a Wednesday and everyone's doing their own thing and it's like 8 o'clock, I know I'll watch a documentary that I've been meaning to watch, and of course I can do that. Or I'm going to listen to this podcast that has nothing to do with work, but it's one I've wanted to listen to for a while. Or if it's Tuesday and I want to train myself something, maybe I'll watch some gardening videos or something like that. There's free time there, right? And I'm actually putting kind of a structure around it to make sure that, you know, if it's completely free, I can either do whatever I want, or I have some direction if I want to go down that path. Then 9:30 to 10 o'clock, well, that's when the second shift of writing begins. And this is really writing, like specifically writing. So I'm going to work on blog posts, show notes for the podcast, script writing for YouTube videos. That kind of thing happens between that 9:30 time slot to say 12:30 in the morning at the latest. The reason that works for me is that everyone's kind of doing their own thing. My son is either in bed or my wife and him are watching a show that they want to watch together that I have no interest in. My daughter's doing her own thing, and I'm just ready to go into that last little bit to get that writing done. And the nice thing about this window is that in some instances I need the full time. I need the full 3 hours to do writing or whatever I'm working on, and sometimes I only need like an hour, but it's there. So there is a lot of flexibility built into that. And then once that's done, I will then do what I call my evening examination. So that's maybe some brief meditation to wind myself down. I go through the monk manual and fill that out. I will do any sort of setting and recalibrating of the tasks that I had done in the day. I do all that before the journaling piece. I actually write in a journal too, called Reflection. So I tend to dictate that because at that point I am pretty tired of just typing. Then I go to bed. So bedtime can range anywhere from, let's say, 11:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. Like that's kind of the window. I have to be in bed by 1 o'clock though. If I don't go to bed by 1, then it's going to throw me off for the rest of the next day. And not just the next day, but the week as a whole. My sleep window can range from 11:30 until 7:15 or 1 in the morning till 7:15. That's why that nap is so critical for me. So there you have it. That is everything that I do in a day. Maybe this inspired you. If it did, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you want to share with me everything that you do in a day. Maybe you want to share with me like, hey, Mike, I love that idea of that thing that you do. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you later.